Greetings. This is Dr. Hadley, and this is the screencast on getting started selecting articles for the coding of news articles regarding Twitter. On the screen you should see the code book, which you should have a copy of. And this code book has all of the instructions that you'll need to do the assignment, to select the articles, to determine which articles to code, and how to do the coding. And then there's also an attached coding spreadsheet where you'll actually type in the data. But what I wanted to do is to create a screencast just to demonstrate some of the process. Hopefully that will help minimize any problems. So let me go to the university's library website to identify the news articles that you'll need to secure. The guidelines state that you're going to be looking for articles from 7 different news sources: New York Times, Washington Post, ABC News Transcript, CBS News Transcript, Fox News Network, CNN Transcripts, and NBC News. And you'll actually be typing in those terms exactly into the search engine in LexisNexis. So go to the library website, and there are several ways you could get to LexisNexis, but one way that you can do it is to browse databases, select a database, law and criminology. Click on that one. It'll pull up a list of law and criminology databases from the West Georgia Library. Scroll down to LexisNexis Academic and select that database. Then when it comes up, you will click on Power Search on the upper left part of the page and leave Terms and Connectors selected. And in the search terms box, you'll type in the word Twitter, the word and the word length, the greater than sign, and in parentheses the number 100. Don't click search yet. Under specify date, you're going to scroll down to date is between. And in the code book, there's a list of constructed weeks that you will use. The date ranges are all laid out for you in the code book that you're going to use. Actually, there are several dates for 2010. As you see here, this first number is 0907 to 0912. That would be September 7th of 2010 to September 12th, 2010. The next date range is 10/4 to 10/9, or October 4th, 2010 to October 9th, 2010. Then the next is 11/16 to 11/21. That's November 16th through November 21st of 2010, and so on. And then there are selected date ranges for 2011. So the dates that you're going to use are actually here in the code book. Going back to the database, so for the first week, you want date is between September 7th, 2010. So you can go back to September 7th, 2010 to September 12th, 2010. And once you enter those dates, then you move on to, you skip this box, add index terms, then you go to this select source box. Click on the find sources link at the bottom of the box. And when this page comes up, you will type your keyword in, and you have a list of 7 news outlets. You'll type in the first one. It could be New York Times, and you click on Find Sources, the Find Sources box on the right. And you're going to select one of the sources. There are a lot of different sources here. The one you want is the most general one without any qualification. Click on the New York Times box, and if you look over to the right, you'll see that the New York Times has become one of your selected sources. It's in your list. So the next thing you'll do not click OK Continue. Go back to, once New York Times is in your list, go back to your keyword area, delete the keyword term that's there, and type in the next one. So you can type in Washington Post, click Find Sources, and go down. You have a list of Washington Post sources. Click on the general one, the Washington Post. You'll see that it appears in the list on the right. And then you're going to repeat this process. Go back to your keyword list, type in the next term, ABC News Transcript, click Find Sources. You get your list. Click on the most general, ABC News Transcripts. You see it added to the list on the right. Go back up to your keyword field, type in CBS News Transcript, click Find Sources, select the most general CBS News Transcripts, and so on, all the way to the seventh one, which would be NBC News. Click Find Sources, and click NBC News, and it puts NBC News, it adds it to your list as well. You'll have a total of 7 in your list. Okay, once you finish this, once you have all 7 in your list, then you can go over and click the box OK Continue, or the button OK Continue, and you'll see you're back on the Power Search page with what will be 7 news outlets listed. Then what you'll do is you will click Search at this point. Now remember, now you're just looking at this first date range. As you go back, you'll be able to change the dates. Keep your list of selected sources, and you'll go back to the date range and change the dates for all the different dates that you want to, where you want to search articles. So you'll just come back here and change the date range. But here you click Search. And for that particular list of selected sources for that particular date range, there are 59 articles available. What you want to do is to review the articles for each news outlet separately, and you're actually going to save them all to your computer before you do any coding. That way you have all the documents saved, and you can delete them after you have them saved. So if for some reason you inadvertently delete something, you actually have the whole collection of articles in one place, and you can easily get them back. So what you do is go over here on the left to publication name, click on the plus box, and it'll pull out the full list of transcripts that you saved. So then what you'll do is you'll click on each one. So you could start with the New York Times. Well, actually, before you do that, go to the sort. Assuming that you had all of your articles here, you switch your sort from oldest to newest. That'll make it easier to analyze and to see where the date range starts. Once you do that, it does it for your whole list. And once again, you're in a particular date range. You click on New York Times, and now it's giving you all of the New York Times articles. It reduced the total number from 59 to just 36. So, and remember, you'll have more articles than this. You'll have all of your selected sources. What you'll do then, select the whole list and go down, and if there are multiple pages, as there are here, click to the right arrow and select the second page as well. You want to select all the articles for that particular news outlet. And then once you've done that, over here on the right, you want to click the Download Documents button. And you want to click on both of these boxes for font options, search terms in bold type, search terms underlined, to make it easier for you to find your search terms when you go back and look through the documents. Add a brief note. Right here, I'm in the New York Times. I happen to be in the New York Times, even though the source title has the names of all the articles that I'm looking at. But what I'm looking at now is just New York Times. I'm going to give it a shorthand name, brief note, New York Times 1. New York Times, the first constructed week. And once I've done that, then I can click Download. And what I'm going to get is a link for all of those selected articles actually in the New York Times. This is actually my New York Times list. And I can decide where I want to download this. I can right click and save it. I can save it to my my desktop. So I'm just going to go to my desktop and save. Actually, I could go in here and change the name of even this link. But actually, I can go in here and do this, close the window, and it should be saved to my desktop. And then what I want to do is go back, unclick all of the, I want to unclick all of the articles now. And the next thing I want to do is go to the next publication name. Here it's the Washington Post. It gives me 16. And I'm going to do the same thing. Highlight all of these articles. Click the Download Documents button. Highlight the font options. Give it a name. I may call it WAPO 1. Click Download. It gets formatted. Download that list of articles to my hard drive, and just keep doing the same thing until I have saved all of the articles for this particular date range. Then when I'm ready to go back, I can switch the date, and for the same list of selected sources, I can look at the same list of news sources for a different date range. So you want to save all of these articles to your hard drive so that you can review them, cut and paste, and or delete articles that are irrelevant, but you have all the articles in one place. So I hope this is helpful, and we'll have other videos later if needed. Also, we'll look forward to meeting in person. Take care. This is Dr. Hadley.